Hello, Sagittarius. Um, Welcome to your summer 2025 overview. My name is NiJiLL, and you have found ÄLKØMԻ. Instead of a 3-month reading, we're doing a 2-month reading, so the reading should be fairly short this time. We'll be reverting back to 3 months in the fall. But here we have your July and your August, and we're, as always, when we do your monthly full reading, we're going to re-pull the cards and build a very in-depth, long sort of detailed reading around them. But for now, we're just going to sort of touch upon the important things that are happening. And please understand this isn't the only thing that's going to happen, and it certainly isn't going to be discussed in detail today. Let me move my coffee out of the way. Okay. So with all that said, let's get started. You do have here disseminating moon. Take time to breathe out. You may find yourself in a tizzy this summer, and when I say that, I don't mean it necessarily bad. We haven't really looked at the cards, but you may be extremely busy with work. You may be extremely busy with your social life. Your mind may be in 10,000 different directions. So we'll keep that definitely under our hats as we move along through this reading. Now, interestingly enough, right, you have Virgo here, and that is number 6 in this deck. And yes, you could be dealing with a Virgo, but it does pay to mention, of course, that Virgo season begins in August 23rd. Also on August 22nd, the new moon in Virgo occurs. And that is a time, whether it's the season or the moon, it's a time to reflect on your thoughts about 2025 so far, what you've achieved, what you'd like to achieve still, and plan it. Plan your fall, plan your winter, plan the rest of the year out. This is a perfect organizational energy, right? That Virgo energy. You do have 222. It says, trust that the seeds of your thoughts are growing and you are nourishing them with words, feelings, and actions. It does say, I am balanced. You may see 222 this summer at some point as an omen/sign that certain things are coming together. They're rebalancing, they're regrouping for sure. And when I see that, it says, trust that the seeds are planted. I really look at organization as seeds, for sure, right? Earth signs are amazing for things like that. It's something I lack. It really is. So I appreciate that about them. They're very organized. They can get you grounded very easily. Maybe that is the energy you should be stepping into, to ground yourself, to prepare the earth for your new seeds. What's going to be new for you? Seeds, planning, balance. You do have here one enchanted evening, and this is number 29 in this deck. It says the perfect night. It looks like you are headed towards some sort of amazing evening over the summer. And it's not to say you'll only have one, but there is going to be one evening this summer here, Sagittarius, that will stand out. It'll stand out above the rest of them. You have here the moon, and that obviously is pure Cancer energy. It says, it would have made a dreadfully ugly child, but it makes a rather handsome pig. Very cute, right? She's holding a pig. But this is the unconscious, the illusions, the intuition, right? Yeah, there could be something of an illusionary nature here that it is the unseen. Let's just put it very simply. The unseen is on the table. Something that you're starting to have very clear focus on. Very clear focus on it. The moon can also herald a time of disillusionment, right? Looking down at that little pig in your arms, originally thinking it was going to be a beautiful baby and realizing, hey, this is just a pig. And maybe I should just appreciate it for what it is rather than for what I'd like it to be. Could be. This could be a friendship in your life. This could be a job in your life. This could be, obviously, a relationship in your life. But let's move on to your tarot down here. You have here your July and your August. We'll start here with your July. Now, what's interesting here, Sagittarius, is this card is a very rare card. Very rarely it's pulled. We know that this is a huge deck of cards. And, so far, and I'm almost finished with this series, Leo also pulled this card, your fellow fire sign, and I found the background of it interesting. So you have here, this is an alternative hermit card, right? And we know that the hermit is the sign of Virgo. And even in this deck, that is true, right? Even in this deck, and because in this deck, many astrological correspondents are not the same, but here you have Virgo and Virgo again. So there's something going on with Virgo, either Virgo time, or there may be a Virgo in your life, right? But here you have this card, and instead of the Hermit, it is known as Time. It's an alternative card to the Hermit. You couldn't get more different than that, right? Different than the other card. Now, this is an alternate image of a painting called Saturn Devouring His Children. And I'll put up on the screen the original painting, right? And almost, I mean, it's not exactly the same, but basically the energy is the same, right? In Greek mythology, I'm just going to summarize it. If you'd like to do more research, feel free to. But in Greek mythology, Saturn heard a prophecy, right? A prophecy that one of his children would overthrow him one day. So to keep that prophecy from coming true, he devours all his children. And there is one that he doesn't realize is hidden. The mother hides one child to save that one child. That one child turns out to be Zeus. So, yeah. And, this could be looked at because the name of this is actually time. This could be looked at as a consumption of time itself. And time becomes suddenly very important to you. Many of your readings in 2024 was about time for some reason. I really believe your end of year reading was. I'm pretty sure your end of year reading was a time thing, right? Time is of the essence, something like that. Yeah, and what this is crossroads energy. Now, you could be dealing with a maternal or paternal figure that has something to do with the sign of Virgo, and you could see somebody that doesn't really care about their children. They only care about themselves. They're trying to save themselves, right? Very, very selfish energy, quite volatile energy, right? Could be something as clear cut as that. But being that the name of this card is also time, it could also be, time passing by and you becoming very sensitive to that, and perhaps you wanting certain things for yourself before time runs out, right? And many of us feel that way when we're in we're 20s. Some people don't feel that way until they're in their 60s, but some people, the presence of time here is on the table for a reason. Okay, now you also pulled the Hierophant, and the Hierophant is the card of Taurus. And he is a traditionalist, right? Another earthy energy. He values tradition, vows. And this could represent a new commitment that comes up in your life, something that you become committed to in July, right? It doesn't have to be marriage. It could be something else. It could be a job that you become committed to, a goal that you become committed to, a person that you become committed to, right? Or a new level of commitment for a current commitment. So there is commitment here on the table. There's a lot of earth energy here on the table. You also have here, excuse me. Yeah. You have the Ace of Pentacles next. Yes, the Ace of Pentacles. And here's even more earth energy, right? You have, this is pure earth. And this is obviously a gift, right? You're being gifted with something here, right? A new earthly gift. Now, this could be a material gift if you're looking for that, if you've worked for that, if you feel this reading is goal-oriented or career-oriented. There is a gift coming to you here in July, right? Or this could have something to do with an earth sign, somebody offering you something. You do have the Knight of Swords here coming in prominently, Uranus and Gemini. Swift action, fast thinking, right? There is somebody that's coming in hot and heavy here, and it is a masculine energy. And when I say that, yes, it could be an actual male. Listen, this could be you. For all intents purposes, this really could be you. Coming in very hot, very heavy, very grounded, very secure, very confident. But for others of you, this could be a masculine energy outside yourself, some assertive, when I say masculine, I mean very assertive energy, very confident energy coming in with a commitment, right? Could be. But this is your July. And what you have here is the Wheel of Fortune coming in reverse. The Wheel of Fortune is Jupiter energy like yourself, right? But it's fixed. And it is a time to release old patterns, old thoughts, old way of thinking about things. You may not, something may not be going according to your original plan. And it's sort of something you have to release. You have to release the need to control. You're going to have to sort of surrender to this new plan, right? It should be embraced anyway here. You do have the Empress coming in reverse, and the Empress is Venus energy, Taurus/Libra energy, right? A feeling of running on empty. You may at some point in July experience that running on empty feeling, right? A lack of energy. Likewise, you could be dealing with a person here who is supposed to be caring, is supposed to be in your corner. Friendship, could be a relationship, could be a parent, could somebody who's supposed to be nurturing, but ends up being extremely selfish in their energy. You may be dealing with that, an uncaring person. That doesn't mean this person's evil. It just means they might be displaying some sort of selfish behavior here in July that you're going to have to get a handle on, because it is causing some friction, right? It is causing some upheaval, the Saturn and Leo energy disagreement, right? It could be a group setting. It could be a work setting. It could be a family setting. This conflict could be something that's going on in your own head, but there is conflict here on the table. There are good things and bad things happening here. When I say bad, not bad, but definitely some conflict here, right? And we'll expand upon this when we do your reading. But it is conflict, either between you and someone else or a group of people, or within yourself. You're having this conflict, right? That's going on. But you're also getting this feeling about time slipping through an hourglass. You're also getting this feeling of something being gifted to you in the earthly realm, either an earth sign or a material gift from the universe here. Now, let us look here. Now, you have, the Six of Pentacles. Wow. And you have the alternative version of the Six of Pentacles. I think I'm going to put the original version up on the screen so you could see it. Maybe I'll do the same with the, when I edit this, maybe I'll do the same with this card so you could really see the difference in what I'm talking about. But this is the Six of Pentacles, and this is the alternative version. And as you can see, this is an angel, right? Representing the divine, representing the universe, representing God, whatever it is you believe in, right? Getting what you want, getting what you need, getting what you've earned through karma, or simply getting what you desire. But this is a gift from the divine. This isn't like let me get this focused here. This isn't something that a human is helping you with here, right? This is something that the divine is helping you with. This is something that you've earned karmically in some way here. Maybe you've been through a bunch of crap, and you in the past or in the recent past, you're like, when is it going to be my turn? I've been good. Basically it is karma, because look, this is somebody getting a gift from a source that isn't going to require you to pay them back. It is truly a gift, right? It is truly a gift. You have here the Eight of Swords, and the Eight of Swords is Jupiter and Gemini energy, and this is feeling stuck. But obviously this is just a perception, right? This person can release themselves anytime they want. So in August, you might feel this stuckness. You might feel a certain way, right? There may be, all right, I don't want to overspeak this, but you may be feeling stuck. I do believe this is just a perception. I do think you're receiving some sort of a gift here. You do have the Page of Pentacles, and as you know, with these larger cards, I do not take them in reverse, but I do take note of when they come in reverse, and this card did. And it's Mercury and Taurus energy looking at a gift, at least initially, and wondering if it's an actual gift. You're saying, is there a catch to this? But accepting the gift, right? In a very innocent way. The page is a very innocent way, an innocent thing. He's accepting this gift. You see that you have the Ace of Pentacles, a hand offering you something. And here you have an innocent energy picking up that gift. At least initially wondering, is this a gift? What's the catch? But ultimately accepting it anyway. And I like that it comes after that swords energy, because here you have the Queen of Cups coming in her glory, right? Full on glory. Venus and Cancer energy, right? Blossoming love, right? Could be nurturing a current relationship that you're already in. Somebody who's sensitive, giving. This could be your own approach to the situation, or it could be someone around you. But there is a cup here being offered. There is also a pentacle being offered. And like I said, this could represent an earth sign. Let me see. This could represent an earth sign that's behind all this whole thing, or it could just merely represent something of earthly significance. But you have this initial rejection. There's an initial rejection to this, right? You may be feeling at first, like I said, is this a gift? You may be questioning it. The truth is, I think that's healthy. It's healthy as long as you don't take it to an extreme, as long as you don't start walking away from gifts that are offered to you, but be discriminating. Absolutely. I mean, we know, especially after a certain age, the world is filled with things that need to be need to be looked at under a microscope before accepting them. Okay, so I think that's what you're doing here. And see, these cards are coming in sideways. In August, you're going to have decisions to make about what is real, what's not, what's a gift, what isn't. Is this cup real? Is that pentacle real? You do have here Cancerian energy. You have the Chariot coming in sideways, and as a major arcana card, let's see if I can get it to. It seems like there's only one deck of cards that can really focus this. Give me 1 second. I don't have to keep wrecking that. Okay. There you go. Perfect. So yeah, you have the Chariot coming in sideways. Cancerian energy, like up on the upright, it's willpower, strength, heading forward, achieving goals, success. It is an instrument of war sometimes. I don't believe that it's that in this instance, but you have to make a decision about whether you're doing that or you're holding back. It is very powerful energy, and I think you're really giving it a lot of thought, because the very next card is the Hanged Man, and this is Piscean energy, but it is a card of thought, right? A new perspective. You're trying to gain a perspective, maybe perhaps a new perspective. That light bulb going off, right? A timeout to say, okay, what direction do I want to take this in? Is this as valuable as I think it is? All healthy stuff. Okay, maybe it is that planning energy that we talked about here, right? You do have here, you have the Sword of Truth here coming in sideways. Yeah, more discriminating energy here, right? It's pure air energy. It is getting to the truth of something. What's true? What's not? What's a gift? What isn't? How do I feel about what is being offered to me? Do I want to accept it? Is it true? Is it something that I find value in? Very healthy, right? Even if at first you reject something, I like that you readdress it and really take it apart and put it back together again. This could be something about your job. It could be something about a relationship, obviously. And this could be something about a goal that you have, right? Becoming more balanced, organizing your thoughts, taking a time out. But you're going to have one evening here. And if I had to guess, this evening will probably come in July, although for some of you, it could be August. We know this isn't a science, right? You're going to have one evening this summer that stands out as an extremely important evening. And it's going to have an impact on your life in a very positive way. So mark my words here. You even have the moon here. And don't be surprised if the moon is full on the night that this happens, or the moon is very visible. Okay? So when we add all this up and we break it down, we get Pluto energy. It isn't surprising, right? You could have Aquarius highly aspected in your chart, because the Pluto and Aquarius thing, just Google it, right? You could have, look where Aquarius is in your chart. I have a link in the description box for a free chart that you can go and do yourself for free. But the bottom line is, when you see where Aquarius is in your chart, it'll really be it'll tell you where this Pluto energy is really starting to take effect and take hold and make the changes. Pluto is the planet of change. It's Scorpio. It's the planet of change, transformation, rebirth. When Pluto gets finished with you, you're not going to recognize your life, right? And that's true of any Aquarian. It is true of anyone with Aquarian placements. So really look at that, and I wish you nothing but the best, but I can't wait to take apart these months and really see what this is actually about. But remember, take time out to breathe, rebalance, and appreciate. And there is nothing wrong with questioning things here, Sagittarius. Good luck, and I will talk to you soon.